Brad, I apologize if you talked about this yesterday, but we didn't really give Johnny his all-star due the other night. I just wonder if you can talk about, A, the fact that he's going, and B, what he's meant in a year that has not offered a whole lot of bright spots. He's certainly been one of them.
Yeah, he is. He's a quietly competitive kid. He's frustrated like a lot of us this year, but he's putting his best foot forward every night. Yes, he had some down nights, sure, but I think you look at the body of work that he's given us here for just under 40 games. I think he's brought a lot to our team, and as advertised, like I've said, so well deserved for him.
Seeing him every night and coaching him, are there things about his game that you were not aware of and are pleasantly surprised by?
No, I think you watch a lot of video coach against him for a long time. But you appreciate him more on a day-to-day basis, and he loves the game of hockey. He loves to come. He loves to play. Loves to practice. He does a lot of special things on the ice that a lot of guys can't.
So with Johnny, you talked about he might not be the most vocal guy in the room, but how important is it that he leads by example for the many young guys on this team? How important is that for a guy that's been so successful to show the young guys if you work this hard, you can also have the success in the NHL?
Yeah, he wasn't like a top 5 pick, right? So he had to do it a different way. With him, he's got such great legs. He does things at pace that most guys can't. His puck skills are very elite. He's watched all the time, and because he's like polarizing. You're like, whoa, there he goes again. He can turn on a dime both ways. So and those are the things in a tough year that you got to keep challenging him, and he challenges himself. That competitiveness at the puck. Doesn't have to run guys over. Doesn't have to lay down and block shots 6-8 times. He's not a penalty killer, but his legs can do a lot, his competitiveness at the puck. And that's what the Kent Johnsons, the Cylinders, all these guys that are around and watching him, that's what he can do. And so the skill set sometimes a lot of guys can't get to, not because they're not trying, it's a gift that he has. But these other intangibles that, we want consistency, and, he can do that every night for us, and guys can learn from that.
Understand the nature of the question here, but Mike Voter's 1,500th game tonight.
Yeah.
Somewhat appropriate that we're celebrating Mike Vogt for all he's done for this team.
Yeah, Mike Vogt. He's been in one too. Trust me, there's no one that loses more sleep than him. It's a tough job, and to be around that long and do what he does. And first of all, quality person. Thrilled for him. We had a little gathering yesterday to celebrate that, just as a team, and well deserved. It's great to see.
Ask the lineup question. Lineup tonight.
The only change, Boquist will be out and Bjork will be in. Corpy in that.
With Boquist, obviously coming back off the injury, he's had some ups and downs. We've talked about you have a lot of defensemen right now you're trying to fit in and out of, but do you want to see more from him just as he's kind of trying to get back to where he wants to get to?
Yeah, and it's, the thing with Bo, he's still a young defenseman, and there's the area that we want him to grow in, and he knows it, and we've shown video, and we've talked about it, and he's working at it. And so it's, Andrew Peak's at 2 games. It's Marcus Bjork has been playing well. He's had a game. This is part of the process here, and as we get more healthy, and we got Blanks coming back here soon, hopefully, and it adds another defenseman. So it turns the accountability up where you got to do all the things. You can't just do one of the things, and we want a little bit more, and it's just learning curve that they're in. A lot of guys are in that learning curve, and we're trying to help them through it, and that's our job.
For the young guys, like you mentioned, is there a line between I'm going to let him play through the struggles versus I need to take him out of the lineup? What's that line, and how much do you think a player, the learning is, how much is it on the ice and how much can actually be learned if they're sitting up in the press box?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's very rarely when a guy's out, it's just from one bad player, one bad game, right? There's lots of conversations. That's what we do when we get here early in the morning and we're going through video and you watch the game, and and Steve McCarthy breaks down all the D shifts, and we go through it and we show them and help them, and so you want to see improvement, right? And so if you don't see that improve, you keep talking, you coach through it, you go in the practice, we got to work at it, get better at it, and sometimes they got to sit a game, and so you never want to handcuff these guys, especially the guys with skills, but there has to be a line at some point, in puck management, defending, that one-on-one competitiveness that has to be there. It's required in the NHL, and so we got to turn the dial on that as a group, and this isn't the end of the world because you missed a game. If anything, you can learn a lot from it. How you respond is probably more important than the actual sitting of a game. Thanks, guys.